Hey everybody, welcome back to Answers with Andy. Do a little bit of a longer video today to try and take a moment to show off some pictures and slideshows from the Vent Haven Convention 2025. In fact, it was a pretty special year. It was the 49th official anniversary, even though the very first meeting was in 1975. Some thought it was the 50th this year, but next year is the 50th anniversary. We're really excited about that. But today, I kind of wanted just to talk about the convention, things that happened there. I'll try and summarize, not make this too long of a video. But we've got some pictures to show and things to talk about, and maybe some uh, memorabilia to show off. So it'll be a fun time. So, you guys, hope you enjoy this video of the Vent Haven Convention 2025 slideshow with Andy.
Oh, this is when we came to the hotel. We had a welcome banner waiting for us. Left at 5 a.m. in the morning, if you can believe it. This is our first night getting into the convention, the dealer rooms. This is where we met David, and he got to hold Andy, reminded him of his first figure. Opening show. We got to have a lecture for British ventriloquism. This guy was wonderful. I'm so sorry I can't remember everybody's name, but here's Jeff Dunham showing off his newest figure. Here's was our first day going to the museum. Came into this first section. That was W.S. Berger's collection, and then that was the Great Leicester, his exhibit. Moving on into the museum, we got the Charlie McCarthy section, and we had a first bleachers of some figures. These are mostly linen silk figures and some finest I see there, and this is a great section. There at the bottom was Clinton Detweiler's last figure, and the McElroy section with some one-of-a-kind figures. And the bleacher, famous bleacher, all kinds of figures in here. Some wall of heads. This was a new exhibit, different head sticks of different makers. Got all kinds of wonderful figures here. I'm seeing some CMOC, the reason I took a picture of this one, that was reminiscent of the very first dummy I was ever inspired by. And this Paul Winchell's exhibit, Jimmy Nelson's exhibit. Some odds and ends and some random stuff. That guitar one was crazy cool. We got the America's Got Talent winner section. Terry Fader and Darcy Lynn. Jeff Dunham to close it out on that section. And then we headed on our way, leaving the museum. That's the brand new building they just built a couple years ago. And there was us leaving. That was our trip to the Vent Haven Museum. Now we got some open mics here. She was from Japan, did a wonderful job singing. It's her thing, she sang wonderful stuff. This was one of the headlining shows of the British ventriloquist. It was a great act here. Still not sure if this was intentional or an accident, but it was a great show nonetheless. One of the lectures during the open mics at the end, wonderful. During breakfast, we were fellowshipping with David here. And got pictures with David and Mac, dear friend here with his. Oh, and this was David's Major Big Shot, Sergeant Major Big Shot. It was one of the other shows on, I believe it was either Thursday night or Friday night. This young man is wonderful, a great career ahead of him. There's the MC, he's from Australia. He's hilarious. This guy was first time doing an open mic, and he knocked it out of the park. Did a wonderful presentation. It's a magic and ventriloquism. There's another open mic. This was a very unique set, kind of like a Muppet style kind of looking character. She did an amazing job. And this was during the McElroy presentation. Austin Phillips, David Pendleton, Jeff Dunham, and Al Getler. And here we all are, the 2025 Vent Haven Convention. I had a caricature artist done of me and Andy. I've got that chiseled chin and a free poster from the Vent Haven Museum.
All right, well, we're back here. Hope you enjoyed that slideshow. And I want to bring out my main man here, talk us a little bit more about what we experienced at that convention. So come on over here, buddy. Man, Those are some cool pictures. Yeah, they were. It's only because I was in some of them. Okay. All right. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Listen, Andy, did you have a really good time at the convention? Well, I had an awesome time. Well, I got to see other people like me here in our house. There's only two dummies here. Hey, why don't you tell them some things that you were impressed by, Liam? Well, I got opportunity to learn some things. You learned some things? Well, you learned them too. True. And I think it's really helped us out. It really has. We've seen a huge improvement in just the way that we've taken notes and improved in our act and had a wonderful time. But what do you think is your biggest takeaway from that whole experience? That I got out of the house? Okay, all right. Well, my biggest takeaway from that was that I made some lifelong friends there. I was so amazed at the welcomingness of the entire convention. In fact, I met people that I didn't even know that I would get a chance to talk to. And I hope to take a few moments to talk about that very thing. But I want to talk about the community there surrounding this world of ventriloquism. And I know I'm not saying anything new when I say that the community and those that participate in the convention are special individuals. They really have a care and a heart for those that are learning, and even for those that have been doing it a while, but really just kind of felt like they're alone out there. I mean, for so long, it's just been me doing ventriloquism. Now, I haven't been alone when I've had you. That's right. You got some friends. That's right, I do. In fact, one of those dear friends are the ones that went with me to the convention, which you saw earlier in the slideshow. That's right. And I get to go with my brothers. Your brothers? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's something important that we're actually going to talk about. So I appreciate you giving your 2 cents into it, Andy. And thank you so much for coming out and just giving us a little word on how you thought about the convention. Any closing remarks before we leave? Next year? Yeah, we are doing a set. I don't know. We're doing it. Maybe I'm not. We're doing an open mic. Okay. All right. Good. Good. That's straight now. All right. You're going to go sit back down? Sure thing. All right. All right. Anyway, what I really wanted to talk about now is just some of the things that personally uh, that I loved about the convention, just to make a little bit of commentary on some of the slideshows that you saw. I didn't take all the photos. There was much more to be seen than what I had to be given. But I want to say something special happened at this convention. I was able to meet one of my heroes of ventriloquism. When I went to this and I signed up for it online, and I said, I want to go to the convention, I was set on going. I had one goal in mind, just one, not to buy the coolest thing, not to um, learn, not to do the best show, because I was not going to perform. I'm going to tell you that right now. My one goal was to meet my ventriloquist hero. My ventriloquist hero is David Pendleton. David was going to be there because they had a special showing of the McElroy family. And of course, David being one of the only, if not the only, professional performing ventriloquist with an active McElroy original figure in his act. Um, and so they were going to honor the McElroy family, and David was going to be performing. So I knew he was going to be there. I didn't know if he was going to be the whole thing, but in first day, a first day, we get our equipment, we get our registration forms. We're standing there in the lobby, and I see him. I see him across the lobby, and I'm like, okay, my one goal is I just want to meet him. I want to ask him one thing. You see, David is a fellow believer, and David uses his act to entertain families and to give them wonderful laughs with clean humor. But he always puts in his show a plan of salvation, a presentation of the gospel. And he uses that with his fan favorite character, Aunt Tilly. And so I desperately wanted to ask him a question. And that question was, if I could borrow his routine that he does with Aunt Tilly, because I believe that that routine would work with Andy, with the kids that I uh, teach to on Sundays. and that we teach through different like VBS and all kinds of other activities, that I could be able to present this similar gospel story. So I walked up to David and I told him, said, "Hi, my name is Caleb, and I'm with so and so, and um, I just want to say that it's a pleasure to meet you, and I can't wait to see your show. But I have one question for you." He's like, "Okay." I said, "I want to ask permission if I can use your routine with Aunt Tilly to present the gospel in the same manner with my ventriloquist." And he was kind of taken back for a step, and he was kind of surprised. I could see in his face, but of course, then that smile lit up. He says, "Absolutely, and I appreciate you asking me." But and he jokingly looked at me and said, "But you don't need my permission to tell the gospel, man." And I know that, but I wanted to be sure that if I was going to use a routine by another professional, that I made sure that it was okay with them to borrow that routine. And through that, we began to just discuss, because when you're a first timer, which I'll show you here in a minute, if you're a first timer there, you get a big old red sticker that puts a target on your forehead to say, "I'm new." But that can be good and bad. More on that in a little bit. But David and was sitting there talking, and my friends came over, my dear friends that I went on the trip with, and they came over, and we all started talking with David. And we just spent time talking and fellowshipping, just kind of getting the story on all of us. And he was just so thrilled to talk with us, um, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. And um, it was a wonderful friendship that we made. We ended up talking with David at least every day at the convention, and in fact, we got to go and fellowship with him in his hotel room and got to see all the characters. And here in a moment, I'm going to show a clip on the day of our photo shoot. I got the privilege that David handed over Mac for me to operate and feel it. And when I tell you the expressions, giddy as a schoolboy, like a kid in a candy shop, whatever you want to call it, uh, died and gone to heaven. Uh, I was in that moment. I was living my dream of holding this figure and operating it. Let me tell you, it's nothing like you've ever used before. It's so natural too. It's so wonderful. Um, so what we're going to do now is we're actually going to take a look at that clip, and we're actually going to see a McElroy figure in action. Hope you enjoy.
Whatever you do.
Yeah, no problem.
Isn't that so fun?
It's amazing how the cradle takes control.
Really?
That's how you're able to, because in a ball and socket, you have to have your hand on the stick at all times. I always wondered, how does that work? There's no way somebody can hold on and press the keys.
Right.
Without
but you
it.
can actually let go a little bit because the weight is supported.
That's so sad.
I mean, I'm just totally, used to it now, but I remember when I was like 12, I was just like, that is permanent.
You have children?
They're going crazy.
Are they?
I have a friend.
Where's the
She's 8
one?
Congratulations. Are your kids into ventriloquism?
They were when they were younger because Dad, but they didn't. And it's not like I was like, you get your puppet out.
No, right.
Yes, deep.
It's not for everybody.
No.
Then 1, 2. Oh, there it is. So it doesn't affect unless it's up. That's when it brings it
That's
down.
correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting. Was that just because it's so crammed in there they didn't intend that to be that way, or that's
That's a common misconception, but
Oh.
if you look at it, it's very intentional. They attached.
well? I
it's
mean, if you
basically-
what happens when you 1 week?
yeah, your
what gets-
eyebrow comes down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually how they attach the spring. They attach the spring to that spot.
There it is. That's what I was looking for.
Oh yeah. Bottom row, middle.
Bottom row middle.
The difference is
Doing those are the same.
It took me months to memorize where everything was, and I still know. What's fun about it is just
Do that look again. There you go.
Which one?
Yeah.
Look at it. Look at
the
it.
next paint job I'm excited about because I'm actually no, I'm gonna go to Tyler now. Let's try that. Tyler doesn't date me, but he would also have been perhaps if you were researching. He would have been my number 2 choice, but not number 1. So he's now working at a church, and he's not.
Doing this, he said I talked to him, he said it.
So, but he will.
It's amazing how smooth everything is. It's unbelievable.
And so the McElroys, Bruce and Janice, they actually have a super deluxe.
I would figure that one at least exists in the family. At least one.
So this model.
Super deluxe means all of the.
Well, the reason it's called super deluxe, again, yeah. Why do they call it that? Well, it's because that's what it was called in the Abbott's Magic catalog in the 1930s. So, if you ordered super deluxe, this is what you got.
How much was that on that computer?
$125.
In 19, I mean, you're like, oh, $125 back then was still how many months of pay was that, right?
Yeah. When you were being paid $1 a day,
Yeah.
you know, like average laborers.
Yeah. I've always wondered, is that hole in his nose room for a new feature, or that's just how it was made?
That's a sore subject that I don't.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was a little oopsie.
An oopsie. It's a beauty mark. There you go.
You know,
Pretty cool. That's a pretty cool clip, right? I've got other instances and stories of just the wonderful fellowship that we had with David. In fact, David and I still talk to this day. We usually try to communicate each week, and we talk about prayer requests that we have for each other and that we have for others. And David's been praying for me, and I've been praying for him and his needs, and he's been praying for mine. And it's just been a wonderful friendship that has developed just from this convention. And I hope to be back there next year. But I kind of want to show a little bit of some things. We might take time for a separate video on this. I have been collecting some old publications from the Mayor Studios for the Bible and gospel routines that they have. And I would love to show off some of those. We just don't have the time in this video, but I did want to show off a couple of things that I got at the convention just for some booths, and just show that off at this time. So we're going to come back, and I'm going to have those things with me. So stay tuned. All right, we're back. I've just got a couple of things. I'm not going to go through everything. We'll do that in a separate video. But I wanted to show off one of the things that I got that I was so excited to find a copy of. I was so excited. As you know from my Meet the Gang video, which I'll have that video pinned, or you can go to my channel and it should be the only other video I have long form. But in that video, I describe where I started learning ventriloquism for real. And that was through the ventriloquism video, about an hour-long video by Paul Winchell, probably, I believe it might have been in the late 90s that was issued. Anyway, it's still when VHSs were around, so it was on a VHS and then later on a DVD publication. But I've always wanted to own a copy of the ventriloquism for fun and profit. And so I was able to find a copy there for a great price. I got it for $25. I was so happy when I saw this. I was like, oh my goodness, I could actually get the full book that inspired that video, because Paul Winchell borrows concepts and applications from his book into that video. He mentions it in there. I was so excited to get this book in my hands and learn about all kinds of stuff, because even you learn figure making. So who knows? Maybe one day I'll build my own figure, but not for now. But yeah, just wonderful, wonderful things in this book, and I always wanted to own a copy of that. So there we go, an original copy for fun and for profit. This was the let me see which edition this was. It's not the first publication. It is one of the more popular ones, that classic, what do you call it, purple and green. Let's see. It says copyright 1954. I don't think there's any kind of revision dates on here, but yeah. Let's just take a look at what the chapters are. So you want to be a ventriloquist. From witchcraft to music halls, the voice, beginning of ventriloquism. And then from chapter 4, 5, and 6, and 7, we get how to build a dummy, about the build destruction and the mechanicals of it. And then chapter 8, you've got painting the dummy. Then number 9 is synchronization and manipulation. Great topic there. Great chapter. Additional manipulation. And then chapter 11, characters, costumes, and conversations. That's a great section. It's mentioned in the video. It's not necessarily just the voice, but the character that you put into the figure. So wonderful book. Glad I was able to get a copy of that. I'll put that back up here. And the other thing I wanted to show off was this right here. This is my packet with a red dot. Funny story on the red dot. I have one quick funny story about owning the red dot. When you own the red dot, yes, people come up to you and be like, "Oh, we're so glad that you're here, first timers." And, oh, it's so wonderful to have you here. But I was able to meet another one of my, not ventriloquist performing heroes, but in fact a figure maker hero of mine, and that's Austin Phillips. In fact, Austin Phillips will soon be having Andy in his possession, to add some exciting features that I don't want to spoil just yet, but we're gonna have some work done. And actually, Andy currently is wearing a Austin Phillips body that I actually was able to acquire after the convention. So that's exciting stuff. But Austin's going to be doing some work on Andy. So pretty soon here in the next couple months, he's going to be looking a little bit different. But we're going to be using him just fine for now. But anyway, as I was saying, the red dot. So we went up to Austin, and he was holding his Theo figure. And I was amazed by the structural and the paint job. I've never seen Austin's stuff in person, so I was blown away. He was over there talking with David, um, and um, and Dan Sachoff, which I love Dan's content. Make sure to check him out on YouTube. He's got some great characters, wonderful routines, awesome comedy, great man. Um, he was over there talking, and they were looking at the Theo figure, and I kind of walked up and I was like, "Man, that's an amazing figure." And and what I was gonna ask to operate a Theo, but he kind of looked and he had a hesitation. He was like, "Yeah, yeah, we're just kind of having the David show it off for now." I was like, "Oh, that's okay." But what sparked my interest is that it reminisced of the great figure maker Alan Schumach, and so I said, "I just appreciate your work. I'm actually amazed at how well this looks. I mean, you're looking at something that looks close to like an Alan Schumach." And Austin lit up. That was Austin's mentor. Austin mentored under Allen, and that's where he learned. And so he was like, he says, "You said the magic word. So you said Alan Jamak." So he says, "Go ahead, hold the figure." So I'm like blown away at this moment. And let me tell you, when Austin's controls on a figure are unmatched. I mean, unmatched. You cannot get something more perfect on the market right now than an Austin Phillips puppet. So also, check out phillipspuppets.com. Uh, he is definitely busy right now after the convention, but let me tell you, it's definitely a must have to have something of his. Um, so, yeah, I wanted to show some of these things real quick. This is a flyer that you got. This year's was Variety and Ventriloquism. Um, and let me pull this up. Got to meet Dirk Golden. Love Dirk's content. Put some great stuff. Check Dirk. Hold that up. Check out, I don't know if that's shining too bad, but Strolling Ventriloquist. Dirk Golden. Check out his stuff on YouTube. He does some of the best coverage the on the convention. They got to meet David Turner. He makes his own ventriloquist figure. Look at that thing. Wild. He was awesome. Um, and then I want to share this because I was hoping this would be a little bit more of happier news, but I would like for everyone who watches this to please pray for the family and please pray for everyone that's affected by this tragic loss. But Mr. Tom Ladshaw, um, a wonderful man who collected, performed, was one of the board of directors at the Vent Haven. I only got to meet him one time. In fact, he's the one I bought the book from. He had amazing things. The man was was a staple in the ventriloquist and magic community. But on August 7th of this year, Tom Ladshaw, unfortunately, tragically, suddenly passed away. And I didn't know him well enough, and I wish I did, but I was happy to get to know him and meet him. Had wonderful conversations with him, talking about different collections and stuff. So it was a wonderful, wonderful time to meet him, and I'm sure that the community and all those that knew him, he'll be greatly missed. And so I just wanted to share that with everybody. Just please be in prayer for his family and during this time of loss. So I think next time we're going to wrap it up here first, but I think next time we're going to delve into a little bit more of the cool collection that I've been acquiring for gospel routines and ventriloquism, all that kind of stuff. And I'd love to show it off. So I hope you guys enjoyed this semi-long video about my experience at the Vent Haven convention. Just wanted to touch on a little things that I was affected by and the things that inspired me, and just hope to see some of you out there. If you're an inspiring ventriloquist and you just didn't even know this existed, be sure to check out the Vent Haven Convention. Look it up, venthavenconvention.com, and look up at the Vent Haven Museum. But check it out, and hope to see you there for the next year. 50th anniversary is going to be big. All right, y'all. Take care, and God bless.